Hello and welcome back. All right, I've been dancing around this topic for a couple years now, and people keep asking me about it, and I'm like, it's this, and I just sum it up real quick, and they are still very confused. Why do I keep dancing around it? Because it's so in depth. But let's do it. All right, ready? Today's topic. Let me scooch this way so you don't. Okay, today's topic is the Schumman Resonance. All right, what's the Schumman Resonance? The Schumman Resonance is a set of electromagnetic frequencies that exist in the Earth's ionosphere. These frequencies are a result of lightning discharges creating electromagnetic waves that travel within the cavity formed between the Earth's surface and the ionosphere, where we live and breathe. The most prominent frequency is around 7.83 hertz, often referred to as Earth's heartbeat. All right, so let's dive in, because what does this mean for us? Because it does. Now, hold on, let me get my notes. This is something I've done a lot of research on. So I have a lot of... I'm just going to put this on top of my laptop. Okay. All right. Oh, dropping things. All right. So, Schumman Resonance. All right. So, Schumman Resonance, name given to low-frequency electromagnetic waves of energy that flow between the surface of the Earth and the ionosphere. These low-frequency electromagnetic waves are also influenced by solar incoming energy, weather patterns, lightning strikes, and other ionosphere variations, causing this resonance/Earth's heartbeat to fluctuate. The major factor is the intensity of solar radiation. Not all the time, but it can be. Solar radiation, cosmic radiation, is transported from the sun to the Earth via ionized plasma and solar wind. This energized plasma affects Earth's magnetosphere and ionosphere. The Schumman resonance has been described as the heartbeat of the Earth, a tuning fork that all life is entrained to. What does entrainment mean? The rhythmic sociological or behavioral events match their period to that of an environmental oscillation. The cycle of Earth, right? The 4 seasons, you get it. It is ultimately the interaction between the circadian rhythms, which is light and dark, the sensing of light and dark, and the environment. Examples: sound healing, crystal healing, aka when our vibrational output tunes or becomes in tune with the external repeating vibrational output. That's the example. So if you've ever heard of sound healing, we are trying, or crystal healing, or anything you're trying to match your vibrational frequency to that of. You're trying to attune to that frequency. And because Earth is just way bigger and way more dynamic than, a tuning fork, we are unconsciously entrained to it. Meaning we are governed by it in a way. You have no control over this fluctuating energy, yet you are entrained to it, so you will be fluctuating. No matter what you think you can do about it. Doesn't matter. It's going to happen. Okay, if Schumman resonance signal strength and frequency are moved outside of the normal range, it alters both the brain and the heart synchronization and changes melatonin levels. Melatonin being a hormone in your brain that produces in response to darkness. So you have no choice. You are going to fluctuate with the signal strength and frequency of the Schumman resonance. Now, let me show you the graph. This is today's Schumman resonance. Holy crap-ola. That is way outside of its typical at-rest heartbeat. Okay? So we'll get back to this because there's more to break down about this chart. But all you need to know is that we are at 7.96 hertz and at an amplitude of 70. So this is a huge shift of energy. You can see it, the white energy, right? I'll break down all that in a minute. So today, yay! For my highly sensitive folks, aka me, I threw a spatula today because I broke the egg yolk on my egg over easy. Am I also dealing with... I'll get back to that. But just know. Okay. So, our pineal gland receives information, it's like in the center of your brain, about the state of light and dark cycle from the environment and conveys this information by the production and secretion of the hormone melatonin. Evidence shows that it is possible for the brain to detect, tune into, and respond to the Schumman resonance signal. Yeah, I know. I'm exhausted right now. So let's get back to that point before we go on. So here's the graph. When you have this to me is signifying incoming energy because it has not yet balanced itself and integrated with that of Earth's at rest heartbeat. So this is incoming energy. It has yet to be integrated. It is just shaking shit up, right? So what happens when you put in something to an already full container? It pushes something out to make space for that incoming energy. So I'm zooming in here on the graph to that really large white portion that we are seeing that kind of looks like angel wings, which we can also look at as a spiritual significance because these, even though this feels really crappy right now, it's to make you lighter so you can float like an angel. That's how I take it sometimes when I'm feeling like this. But anyway, see that red? That's resistance. That's blocks. That's things that need to be pushed out. That have just been stagnating for too long and have become a part of who you are. Not just us, but this will be for the environment as well. But we're talking about how it affects the human brain right now. And that's what it's doing. It's meeting resistance because there's such a flood of incoming, it needs to make space. All the green energy surrounding it signifies emotional healing or just emotional response that will happen due to that because your emotions are subtle energy from your environment. So that is your environment right now. You will be having correlating emotions with that. Now, healing moment here, attach and follow, use the mark, map, and move technique to mark and map all these surface level emotions that you are feeling maybe out of control with and start mapping them together to find the common root of denominator. I did that and it was something back when I was like 4 years old. And I'm like, really? But we can't judge our own healing experience. If that's where we're going today, that's where we're going. I thought I eradicated those roots already, but we're in there and new memories are popping and it's showing me how the surface level challenges in my life are the ways that I feel blocked emotionally when it comes to certain situations is because of that original memory, those original circumstances that happened to me when I was like 4 years old, 4 or 5. So and then it kept repeating, and in turn, after a while, when your brain starts to accustom to that and become the personal truth, it then becomes what is repeated for you on purpose. So even though you do something different, you move away, whatever the case may be, you will repeat these cycles because you were unaware of the programming that started. It was self-programming too. I can even remember it based off of the environmental situation that happened. 4-year-old me translated it into a very self-deprecating moment. So, it needs to go. It's time for that specific brain programming of mine. It's time for that one to go away. It's time for that one to be healed and rectified. Okay? So, but this is something that we're all going through right now. It can also be other people. That's my favorite one because it doesn't really affect me as much, but that's selfish and a little egotistical for me to say. But this can happen and push people out of your life that are stagnating you or causing emotional blocks and complications. This will also push them out if you allow it to. You got to watch what's happening in your life around these times. And if something's going down, ship's going down, let it sink. You know what I'm saying? Not everything's meant for you to fight for, except for yourself. Just fight for yourself, home dog. Let things fall away that aren't meant for you. It's like peeling away the external layer of an onion. I'm not going to eat that shit. So you got to get rid of it. It's just a part of life, you know? Some people are just onion skins. Okay. So. Okay. Okay. So, we tune into / feel these fluctuations via our 5 senses via subtle energy, transported from our skin, our eyes, yada yada, creating an intuition feeling or an intuitive feeling / signal to our nervous system via emotion. Then into our brain, intuitive feeling signal to our nervous system, which is usually from an elicted emotion and transported then to your nervous system, then into our brains via serotonin. Serotonin being the chemical that carries messages between nerve cells in the brain and throughout your body. Serotonin plays a key role in such body functions as mood, sleep, digestion, nausea, wound healing, bone health, blood clotting, and sexual desire. So let's break that down then. Look at the human brain. Your mood is going to be affected. Your sleep patterns, your digestion, you might find yourself nausea. Wound healing, also trauma. It's wounds, all wounds. Not talking just like it's significant of also internal wounds. And right. So these things are going to be affected. So in synopsis, I like my own writing here. In synopsis, making the Earth's heartbeat a direct factor that influences our brain. Why am I going like this? Because stop thinking you have any semblance of control in this life. All you have control over is your own self-mastery response. It doesn't matter. Doesn't matter what your life looks like. Doesn't matter what you do. You are still going to be affected. Now, more sensitive people, are going to feel it a lot more. A little less sensitive people, this situation, this pushing out of emotional blockages and resistance is going to still happen, but your awareness of it is going to be elongated. And it's going to seem like a rough week or 2 or maybe 3, which kind of stinks. And that's why I want to get everybody on board with this, because if we wait that long, you are already going to hit with another wave. This has already happened last week as well. I'll show you the history. This is what's going on. We're fluctuating between homeostasis, which is that blue, and that green emotional healing. Look at these spurts and how they've increased with power and enormity as this couple weeks have gone on. Through my personal study, I have found that this chart is affected in these large bursting type of ways, especially in the summer. During also shifts of the season, you will get bursts. But from this point on to the end of the summer, this is going to happen the entirety of the summer. Especially when we move into the A8 portal, the Lionsgate portal, things of that nature, which is also my birthday, and I almost throw up every year on my birthday. It's a lot of energy. It's a lot. I'm almost grateful when it rains as well, because I can't take all that freaking goodness and all of the processing, and then it's sunny out and it's hot. It almost rains on my birthday almost every year, and I'm like, thanks, because it gives me an excuse to rest. So that's my personal, I've been tracking this for years. It's almost embarrassing to say, because I haven't devised my research into something yet, which I'll work on. I'll get something typed out. I got this typed out, but I mean following the graph over the last whatever amount of years and seeing the ebbs and flows throughout the season changes. I gotta really get down to that. So that is why in the summer, we're boom, we're doing shit. We're birthing new ideas. We're shedding old skins. We're very charged. We're very spiritually, energetically charged during the summertime. This is a lot of every full moon from the beginning of this, from the end of spring into the end of summer, is all around your own personal growth and reflecting upon that and abundant things like that. It's really, and then you have the sturgeon moon in August about abundance after the July moon, which is the super full buck moon, which is all about recognizing your growth, your antlers, because that's when deer have their antlers fully grown in. So everything aligns. Summer equals growth, movement, pride in oneself about said growth and movement, things of that nature. But also, we gotta shed to feel this. And that's why personally, This is rough for me until that July super full buck moon, because I feel from the end of spring, from the strawberry moon to the buck moon, we're pushing out. We're pushing out everything that doesn't serve us from what we've done to change and transform ourselves over the last year. So it's almost like the recognition of where we're at after an entire new year cycle. And if we're in a new state of being, a new lifestyle, new habits, new thought processes, new, then this is the time that the summer, this incoming energy, is going to push out what no longer serves your new state of being, which is exhausting. I've been crying a lot. Right, so getting back to that story when I threw the spatula. This started for me about yesterday, but it's been incoming. And I've been feeling it since last week, and I'm like, oh no, I almost forget, as if I don't track the shit. But anyway, so memory came out. A friend held space for me during that memory, which was yo, I have never had that before, in that way, where it's just right there, where I didn't even realize how detrimental that memory was, but because she just held that space and also had emotions about it, I was like, oh shit, I should be feeling different emotions about it. That's actually way sadder than I'm making it out to be. That's my adult brain trying to rationalize and put logic to emotions that little me is feeling unseen and unvalidated about. So it started then. And then that new processing of that new awareness of how that is impeding or bleeding into my present day reality is starting to come up. And I'm starting to now find that what I thought was an easy, I'm just flowing, I've actually just been avoiding that feeling that I felt at 4. That's insane. That's exhausting. I didn't even realize that. So now there's not a lot of mental work you really need to do. It's just the awareness, the mark, map, and move technique. Follow that route, follow that first memory, that first time you felt that emotion. And you just have to start reframing things in your present and nurturing yourself. You cannot do old things, though, during this time period. Like, I'm feeling emotionally distraught. I'm going to have comfort food, or I'm going to revert back to something that I did a year ago to help me find relief. No, you need to utilize the new tools that you found, the new things. Like, for instance, I'm on this exercise journey. I want to be more fit. I'm in my early 30s, and I just feel like I'm already like not feeling cool in my outfits. Like, no, that's for like later. That's when I'm like 80, So like, that's my new fitness journey. However, before that journey, I used food to comfort my emotions, which was helping for a very long time because food was never something that helped before. So we like really reveled in that for a year, and that really worked for us. But then it started to backfire. It doesn't work anymore. It's gaining weight in my midsection. I'm slowing down, stuff like that. So the new mode of operation that I've been working on and trying to establish within my own lifestyle for the last 6 months is brain hack chemical release. So like your endorphins, your dopamine, your serotonin, and your oxytocin. Am I saying that right? Yeah, your oxytocin. So instead of always reverting back to like that comfort, I'm now pushing to find a new level of comfort, like the endorphin release from exercise and the reward release of dopamine through accomplishment, things like that. So instead of falling back into my comfort zone, which would work as well, I'm trying to establish this new comfort zone, expand the old into the new, integrate some of the old into the new as well, like rest and, the fact that I'm wearing a giant sweater and that's it as an outfit today, like utilizing some of that. That's what expanding your comfort zone, but you're pushing out the things that are no longer serving this new way of being, which is like my fitness journey. And the fact that I don't want, I used to be okay with the fact that I might need 3 days to get back on the ball, right? But now we've allowed that to be our comfort zone for so long. I'm annoyed with that now. So that's how I know it's time for growth. It's time for pushing into this new comfort zone, this new level. So instead of reverting back, even though you're feeling the way you're feeling, push into these new routines, push into those new habits, and retrain that brain into seeking the new comfort rather than the old. And you got to just do that through repetition. And it's highly imperative that you do that even on these days, especially on these days, because this is the time to kind of prove it's helping you retrain your brain. You've got to get on the same board with it and flow with that and take account of what's coming up for you in your mind. Like, that came up for me. I was like, I could do this, or I could integrate these two comfort zones, take my time, put something fuzzy on, wash my face, start a little later, whatever it may be. But then doing the things like, dinner's already cooked for today, and it's like not even 3:00. Like, because I know I'm having one of those days, I've just pushed to get all those accomplishments done. So then I can align with my new state of being, which is this whole like brain hack chemical thing, so that I can be as productive as I can be, even though I struggle with mental health and my healing journey sometimes. I don't want to take 3 days to a week. I don't want that anymore. I'm also an entrepreneur, a small business owner, and a life coach. I don't want to have 3 days of not making money. You know what I mean? Not that money's not everything, but it does play into your mental health. That's your root chakra. That's your stability, your financial support. And even though, yes, I have my rent paid, everything's paid, my bills are paid, and I got food in the fridge, it wouldn't kill me to miss those 3 days. And that's why a year ago, that would have been fine. But now we're in this new journey where I'm like, it doesn't need to be like this anymore. I know the tools. I know the lifestyle, and I know where I need to push my brain into being retrained about to be able to step into this new empowerment, this new lifestyle. You know, I'm not going to just trample over my emotions and trample over how I'm feeling. I'm going to validate that, give it what it needs, but not give it the toxic things or the things that I believe are no longer aligned with my new journey. So that's the integration of the two. So yeah, I kicked ass, got a shit ton of stuff I got accomplished. So now the rest of the week is just cleared up for me to make body butters and just stock my shelves for an event. I have a holistic health and wellness event this Saturday. And so, yeah. So instead of taking the 3 days and doing nothing, we pushed. We did our workout routine. We ate healthy anyway, even though we wanted the whatever. And we pushed. And now the rest of the week is set up to support my nervous system in a more calm way. Because I'm acknowledging that I'm feeling vulnerable. So instead of just receding into the cave, we're setting up our environment to support the vulnerability so that I can keep working, I can keep accomplishing, and I can keep making my recipes. Because, like, there's nothing worse than being on the edge of your emotional cliff and you mess up a recipe in the middle of it, right? Like, So today, not the day for that. Today, I food prepped and did a bunch of other stuff that's going to carry me through for the end of the week that doesn't cost me money, meaning like it's not a product I'm trying to sell. That's a lot of freaking pressure for a day like today. So instead, I just like made a bomb dinner filled with roasted veggies up the wazoo for my partner and I. And then I got water bottles all over the place chilling, like I'm just ready. And I'm doing what I can today, like that has to be done on my phone and my computer. So that me explaining that to you was how me trying to help you understand what the Schumman Resonance has to do with your personal growth and development. It's something you can work alongside of, and like I'm doing. That's why I explain that, so you can see the integration of such and how you can see, oh, whoa. Like when I threw that spatula and then cried like I got hit by a car, which is funny because I've been hit by a car and I didn't cry as hard as I cried this morning. Oh my gosh. And that's my alert. It started yesterday, but I thought maybe I'd be out of the woods today, but another flat. I was like, okay, we're not ready. We're not ready to just pretend like we're over the hump. We have more integration to do, more releasing to do, more reframing, and more retraining to do. And so, and like, yeah, we're not supposed to react like that to, you know what, because I broke the egg. Now my egg over easy is not going to run all over my toast. Oh no. And like, I literally ate it bawling. I was like, this is not, no. Because I was using comfort food for a year to make me feel better. And that's also another sign that of the universe telling me this isn't no longer going to help you. You got to go use your other routines. But I didn't know that. I had to kind of run into it to find out that that's the universe trying to tell me that I can't rely on that. That I have to rely on other things like my workout routine, my brainwave hacks, and my reward accomplishments. And it was right. I went, but because I already had an emotional breakdown, you need to go soothe your nervous system. So I laid in bed listening to meditational music and just observing my thoughts and my emotions for like 2 hours, maybe an hour and a half. I don't know. You know, I needed that first. You can't just like push through and disvalidate your emotions and ignore that feeling, because that's how the problem freaking started back when you were a kid. And we gotta get better with these responses, get better with how we handle when we're in emotional crisis. Okay, so back to Schumman. In humans, exposure to high amplitudes of the Schumman resonance induces alpha brainwave rhythms, relaxed and unfocused, and stimulates altered states of consciousness. That's why my dreams are popping off right now. I had the craziest, most detailed dreams the last 3 nights in a row that are filled with anxiety, right? So these are also other messages and signs we're going through this process. Consistent power spikes in the Schumman resonance forces brainwaves to stay elevated in power. Exhausting. Because now, not only am I killing it with just what I have to do right in front of me, it's also all these little healing opportunities popping up. It's great. That's what we want, but it's also just exhausting. Okay. Okay, blue. The blue in the graph being the lowest amplitude, gradually increasing through the color scale to white, through blue, green, yellow, red to white. The greater the amplitude of energy, the more it is universally felt amongst the collective consciousness. For example, once an idea is in use by enough people, called critical mass, it will create change. This is that 100th monkey effect we talked about a plethora of videos ago. The same goes for amplitude of energy. With enough amplitude, the external environmental energy creates a change in the internal workings of the brain. Whew. It's rough. Now, are there tips and tricks, tools, and things to what they call this is ascension symptoms? Because when you do that healing process, when these things are coming up to be pushed out and you work with them consciously, like I've been explaining the last 10 minutes about my personal experience, when you do that, right, you ascend because you're lightening your energy, because you're leaving behind the heaviness and weight you were unaware of, you were unconscious of. So it's bringing it to your consciousness to show you what's heavy on your heart. And if you've ever learned anything about any religion, even like ancient Egypt, they have the guy in the underworld. He weighs your heart with a feather, to that of a feather. So your heart needs to weigh less than a feather to be entered into, whatever, the afterlife. And in Christianity, it's in the form of confession before death. Like every time you have a weight that you're aware of, you need to give it to God. Like, because he's the unconditional father. Like he just absorbs it, he just eats it up. And then that relieves the weight off of your heart. But there's a common denominator in all religious texts or all spiritual texts that you cannot be heavy or low vibrational and also move into heaven on earth. It's impossible to ascend when you have ball and chain weights on your ankles. And that's like what I would consider a universal law. Because it goes through religion, it goes through the energetic laws, it goes through it's present in a lot of different scenarios, and when that happens, that's evolutionary truth. Okay. All right, now Yes. So yes, there are tools for easing ascension symptoms. That's what this would be called, because you are on the road. But here's the thing. If you are not doing this conscious work alongside of it, you're just soothing the symptoms. You're never gonna heal the dis-ease. And it will come back up again the next energy spike. So I recommend, as great as it is, to go sit in some grass, ding a singing bowl, play some meditational music, like lay around with some crystals on each chakra that are reminiscent of what you're trying to work on. Like, that's another thing. Intentionally program your tools with what you're conscientiously working on. If you're unconscious of it, don't use the tools yet. Sit in that uncomfortable space. Sit there until you get ugly crying or something, because you need to bring that unconscious weight to your conscious foreground for retraining, for tangibility change. Without your intention attached, you're just putting Band-Aids on wounds that are going to open up in the next week, because you're going to get another one of these. And then the rest of the summer, you're not going like this. You're just going like this, but also crying a lot. Like, that sucks, man. Like, if I'm going to go through emotional turmoil, I might as well also be like ascending, or like, lightening my energy, raising my vibrational frequency by letting go of stagnant, old, dead energy, right? So yeah, like I watered my plants, you do stuff like that. It helps soothe the symptoms. But make sure you're doing the intentional work as well. Because if you're not, it's not like you're going to miss an opportunity. It's just like your summer will kind of, self-growth wise, you're just going to, but you're going to go through all the emotion about it. So you might as well sit there and figure out, mark, map, and move. Now we get a little cray-cray, but this is really cool. So talking about why spending time in nature is helpful, but also then I wanted to bring up this. Earth's energy, or the Schumman Resonance frequency, travels up from the terrestrial surface through trees via water in the xylem. Trees are an electric conductor and grounded to Earth. Your body is energized by electrons when you touch Earth, and by extension, grounded trees. So, like, there is science to this stuff, but attach what you're soothing, like, you're soothing yourself, but, like, what are you soothing? And I'm personally holding this memory. I'm holding space for that and those emotions that come subsequently with that. As an ungrounded free space, because we walk, we're not roots in the ground, humans are an antenna, and EMF, electromagnetic field frequencies, create a voltage in the body. The closer you are to EMF, the greater the charge, which is electromagnetic field. When an individual touches a tree, the residing EMF is removed from the body as electrons move in and neutralize free radicals. Earth can't keep up with neutralizing higher frequencies. I don't know why I added that. But, right. So, that's why we're feeling all this, because Earth can't keep up with neutralizing a shit ton of high vibrational incoming energy like that. So it's like still trying to neutralize. And we can help that process by going out and touching some trees. So, which is great. It's great. I might do that. I might not. Because either way, I'm still going to get through it, because I'm doing the personal intention attaching and things like that. Cool. Yeah, that's about it for the shaman. We'll continue on which the next chapter of my self-typed book here is the brainwaves, and then we talk about how these things all go together. Isn't that just freaking awesome, though? I think it's cool. Because if you can, like, not feel so out of control when it comes to your fluctuating emotions, if you're very sensitive, highly sensitive soul, which, there's a lot of people out there that say they are because they feel the empathy of others, but that's just like one level of it. There is such a depth to being a sensitive soul where, yeah, I've been crying for 2 days, and it's because of incoming energy trying to neutralize within Earth. But it's a good thing because this is now something that I can work with, and I can acknowledge my own emotional roots, and I can eradicate the disease. So, awesome. So, sensitive souls, this is awesome time for us, but it's also rough. But I'm telling you, by the July super buck moon, that whole month just feels so good. Just feels so empowering, so calming, so humbling. You just shine. And I can't wait. But the next couple months are a little, June. We're already in June. We're almost there, guys. Real. And this is a big time for that. But also, like, fall. Son of a gun. Fall's even worse for me sometimes. Oh my gosh. Sometimes it takes me a whole month of just like, and like reframing and whatnot. But yeah, guys. So that's the Schumman Resonance. Any questions about it? Drop some comments below. I can definitely dive deeper into it. Just know, nothing is a coincidence. Nothing just happens for no reason. Like we are all. Like, we are it all. So, if the Earth is doing some stuff, we're doing some stuff, man. And we cannot nail in this new lifestyle routine, this year of growth and evolution, without letting go of some heavy, stagnant crap. And Earth knows this. Earth's doing it too. So, yeah, unfortunately, I hate to see it, but it's a lot of dead animals chilling around lately, It's just that time. I don't know how to explain it. And then that happens again in fall, and there's a lot of death and of the animal world, the animal kingdom, and it's like, wow. It's like really reminiscent. It really shows you how, even nature is doing that right now. And we're setting up for another abundance, right? Not right this second, but like right now, the Earth is clearing out. And then I know right after this stage that's going on, my grapevines start to produce grapes. So it's like you got that spring harvest, but then it's like the Earth is now pushing out the old of that. Like my lilac tree looks like crap. And now it's time for grapes and blueberries and, So Earth's doing it. Why are we different? We're not. We're made of Earth. We're literally recycled material of Earth, our flesh and bone. Like our soul is us. But we are the tethering. We are the anchor between heaven and earth, basically, the integration of that, of spiritual energy and tangible life. And I think that's why I feel like I love here. I love being on Earth. Like, no matter how challenging living here is, like, there's just something deep rooted within my soul where I'm just like, Earth is so freaking cool. And I just and like, that's why, and everyone's like, I'm not from this planet. I want to go back to my planet. I'm like, I'm made from this. This is it. Like, and it's so interesting when I have conversations like that with people who are like, I'm a starseed, I'm from here, or like, they just have these different internal soul feelings of being from different places in our universe. And I'm like, I've just been here. Just been here. Because I love it. I freaking love it. It's just like a big old time clock to help you like figure out yourself almost. Whatever. It's awesome. And on that note, I'm going to now wind down. I got some wire wrapping to do. Speaking of transformation and growth and evolution, this is a great time to work with some Moldavites. Same with in that fall time period, which is exactly what I'm wire wrapping for that holistic health and wellness fair this weekend. I want to have as many. I have only two. I think Moldavite's left in stock right now, and I really want to have those available for the public who wants to work with that intense transformational energy. It's a tool. It helps you with this process. And right, and by me wire wrapping it and holding it and whatever and attaching that intention to it, it'll help me as well. Have a great day. Relaxed and unfocused is definitely like the vibes I'm in now, which is great. Thank you, Alpha Brainwaves. Thank you, Schumman. See you tomorrow.